Viewer discretion is severely advised for this episode. I am Moonwalker Tanya, and this is the MJ Innocent podcast. Alright, so in this episode, I'm going to be debunking the penetration lie from Wade Robson. Okay, so in the mockumentary, he claimed that when he was 14, Michael attempted to penetrate him. Wade said that Michael tried for a while. It became uncomfortable and painful for Wade to the point that Michael stopped. Now, let's go ahead and point out the obvious. If Michael was a pedophile, he would not give a damn that his victims were uncomfortable or in pain. Pedophiles only care about what they want. MJ haters tried to say, well, Michael was a sensitive pedophile. There's no such thing. They also tried to say, well, he was a selective pedophile. No such thing. And then MJ haters also tried to say, well, two grown men do that, but you don't see them having to end up with scars or anything. Because I pointed out that because Michael is well endowed and Wade was only, well, in the allegation, I should say, Wade was 14, it would be impossible for Michael to try to penetrate a 14-year-old boy with him being well endowed without Wade's behind being destroyed. He would have to have emergency surgery, he would have hospital records to prove it, and he would have a scar. I would be surprised if Wade would even be able to walk for a while after that happened. But there was literally footage of him out in the public, perfectly fine, during that time when he claimed it happened. Okay, and we also have to point out that Wade was asked by the judge to take a polygraph test and have a physical, and he refused both requests. And some MJ haters have said, well, they can refuse it if they want. Well, here's the thing. Their stories have fallen apart many times. So, if it happened and they have potential evidence, for example, hospital records, a scar, or any phone records, like when James Safechuck made that stupid allegation of Michael and his lawyers calling him constantly and threatening him to testify, which I will talk about in a separate video. But none of that stuff was provided. So, there is a huge difference between two grown men doing that. Very big difference between that and a 14-year-old being penetrated by a grown man who is well endowed. There's a very big difference. And here's another thing. Let's just say, if you're under the age of 18, please do not watch the next maybe minute of this video. But if a grown woman would have trouble with something that's well endowed, how would a child be able to do that without severe pain? I mean, they would be ripped apart. But yeah, nothing was presented to back up this claim. And then James also tried to claim that Michael tried to do sort of the same thing, except with Michael's finger instead of his, well, And that didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. It just seemed like they just sat down together and tried to make stuff up, and they just changed stuff so it wouldn't be exactly the same. Because according to the MJ haters, every story is different. Which is true in some ways. But, yeah. And the thing is, I don't want to bring Elizabeth Smart into this, but I watched the documentary that she made. It was called, I think it was called My Name is Elizabeth Smart. And they did a scene of what happened the first night when she was raped. Her abuser pushed her on the floor, and I believe she was 13 at the time. She was screaming. She was crying. She didn't want him to do what he wanted to do. He didn't care. He didn't care that she was upset. She kept screaming, "No! No!" And her abuser's wife was outside the tent praying to bless that horrible sin. And then Elizabeth looked into the camera and said, "Do you want it to stop? So did I." So, and the worst part of it is, Wade and James are actually trying to use their false allegations, claiming that it was love. That is sick. It has been known for many, many, many generations that adults and children shouldn't be doing those things. But they're acting as if it was like it was something brand new. And that's what irritates me. But yeah, I think I broke it down pretty good. So let me know what you think about this in the comments, and I will see you soon.